live.
How's it going, Rebels and Blockaders? We are back with another episode of Rebel Chatter with your host, Caden Stetler of Rebel Cause, and of course, sitting across from me as he always is,
Mr. Robin Vote here.
And today is a pretty special episode. We are going to be talking about Star Wars Rebels. I mean, we talked about it a ton of other times before, obviously. Right. It's one of our favorites, but we are a year out officially today from the end of Star Wars Rebels. I guess just Robin, initial thoughts about that, man. We're a year out, which is weird because it feels like yesterday we were sitting down watching the finale.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I've been seeing so many videos across social media. I've been seeing everybody posting, of course, that final at least 15 to 30 seconds where you see Sabine and you see Ahsoka and you see the whole discussion of, well, Ezra, I always thought that he wanted me to watch over Lothal, but guess what? It's my time to go and try to find him alongside Ahsoka Tano. And the emotional strings that thing just pulled, it was like playing a Les Paul guitar and then suddenly that string breaks. You're like, I don't want to get a replacement string. I want this thing to continue to play the way I've always loved it. And that's how Star Wars Rebels was. And Dave Filoni was able to do some masterful things with these 22-minute episodes. And within a 30, I have to say this, within a 30-minute time slot, I've never seen anybody other than, of course, the work that he did on Clone Wars. I think Dave Filoni, is one of the few that have been able to master that and to be able to tell a story within that time slot that has absolutely enveloped this galaxy far, far away. So it's crazy to think that, Caden, just a year ago, we were drying our faces off and preparing ourselves for a world without Star Wars Rebels. It never goes away, but it's one of those things that we consistently reflect on. And, 2014, it was a reality to us.
Yeah, man. And, Filoni is just a master. He really is truly someone who understands the world of Star Wars and understands how to expand that world.
Right.
We got, I'll say world one more time, World Between Worlds from him, which is obviously one of those, our previous episode was all about the World Between Worlds.
That's right.
It's something that we're still talking about over a year later, And Rebels is series for me. It's specifically the first episode of season 1, I guess the pilot episode.
Right.
Was what inspired me to start Rebel Cause.
That's right.
And I mean, Star Wars in general, of course, but that episode specifically just really rang home for me.
Right.
And when they were doing another animated series, I was someone who got on board with Clone Wars like after it was, I don't want to say after it was canceled.
No, that's true.
But I definitely got on board like later because I saw the movie and I was like, it's cool, but whatever. And I really just fell into it all at once. And then when Rebels was happening, I was like, oh, it looked interesting. I probably think this is going to be a little more interesting than Clone Wars because, it's original trilogy, the Rebels, I love it, whatever. And then it was just one of those shows that every week I was like, oh, is it out yet? Is that yet? Is that, just waiting for it every single week. And I will say, every show has filler episodes.
Of course.
Everything. But I will say also, Dave Filoni is a master of making you forget about those filler episodes.
So true.
He'll give you these episodes that just don't really matter at all. And then the next week, it's just like this amazing epic story that's crammed, like you said, into 22 minutes. And you just completely forget about all these, what is it, Sunny Day in the Void?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that is one that, I
love that episode too. It's just funny.
Well, yeah, that's it. It's fun to watch and everything, but there are the fair critiques of it where you're like, okay, what is this doing for the storyline? I go back to the Purgles, man. I'm like, Space Whales? Come on, Dave. What are we going to do with these things? Oh, actually, the Space Whales were the things that took out freaking Thrawn later on, and Ezra was able to summon them. So, yeah, Dave, you worked your magic through some of those offshoot episodes, and bravo. Brav freaking vo.
The master of shelving a character or anything in general.
Oh, yeah.
We're seeing that base on what's the base that we see in the Clone Wars now?
Yes.
I forget exactly what the base is called, but in Rebels it's where Kanan and Ezra fight the Inquisitor for
That's
the
right.
second time, kind of like their first real battle with the Inquisitor.
Yep.
And now we're seeing it in Clone Wars. You know what I mean? Like, we just keep seeing these same things pop up, which is amazing.
Well, and that's just Dave Filoni's style too. Again, whether it's characters or whether it's settings, plots, whatever else, doesn't matter what it is. He'll find that third or fourth shelf to put it onto, and then it moves back to that first shelf, right away. And it's amazing the way that he does that.
Oh, absolutely. And that's one of the cool things about his storytelling is it pays homage to itself, like constantly. You know what I mean? Like he constantly is like, hey, remember that thing I did before?
It's so true. It's so true.
Great.
It's the Filoni magic, man. Like we say at the network, in Filoni we trust, and it has proven itself throughout this, both the Clone Wars and then to Star Wars Rebels, and then now again when we see the Clone Wars return this fall, we get to see whether those things that were left on the shelf back in the day return through, much like the Dave Filoni formula has already shown us. So, in homage to Rebels, the fall's coming up right around the corner. But at this time right now, you know everything that Filoni has done up to this point. It deserves every second of credit possible.
Absolutely, man. And, you know, we could really dwell on Rebels forever.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, it's, I mean, Freak City had a whole show about it. The network
That's right, Rebels Recap.
We had a whole show on just Rebels, yeah.
We based a whole episode around, specifically Double Agent Droid, where we thought, okay, this was going to be an absolute nothing, and then you see Steven Stanton singing in the middle of space using AP5's voice, and you're like, hold on a second. This thing is more special than we ever thought before. It's what created some of the stuff that we were able to do. So I got to give credit not only to Steven Stanton, some of the wonderful voice actors, you know, just Freddie Prinze Jr., Sam Witwer, Tia Sakar, just all of them. You know, Vanessa Marshall, the work that she did as Hera. Big shout out to all of them, because without you guys, this wouldn't have been possible. We wouldn't be able to reflect on it the way we did. And it was those cut episodes, Caden, like we said, that really made this show what it was, even though we didn't know it right away. And those people deserve all the credit in the world for what they've been able to give to us.
Did I confuse Sunny Day in the Void and Double Agent Droid?
I think you might have, even though
Sunny Day in the Void that was a Clone Wars episode, right?
That was definitely a filler Clone Wars episode, to say the least.
I meant Double Agent Droid, but yeah. Anyway,
I think Star Wars fans know where you're coming from on that one now.
But I guess briefly here, before we get too far wrapped into what was Rebels.
Yeah.
Where are we going to see these characters still go? Like, what?
Such a good question.
In a quick format, so we're not sitting here for an hour just
in typical Brick City format.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you know what? That's a really great question. I talked to a lot of people about this, and you and I have talked about this countless times while I've been sitting on your couch, and we just kind of meditate on the thought of what the heck does Star Wars have planned next, Caden? And the funny thing is like, okay, we were left on such a cliffhanger at the end of Star Wars Rebels, and we could hypothesize for days on it, but we know that Ahsoka and Sabine are going to find Ezra. I think that's a lock. We know that Filoni probably, in his depth of mind that he has there in San Francisco, California at Lucasfilm Studios, wants to do something with that. What that is, we don't know, but I have a guaranteed feeling that Filoni wants to accomplish the said goal of bringing Ezra back, like Sabine said.
So I completely agree with that. But as I'm looking here through my notes, and Facebook is up here to the side.
Yeah.
Dave Filoni just released a picture 26 minutes ago.
Uh-huh. Please tell.
I'm not going to tell you. No,
no, please.
It's Ahsoka and Sabine.
Yep.
All like on like the side of a mountain.
Oh.
It looks like their search for Ezra. Like they're walking through a mountain. Like they both have like cold weather gear on. It's pretty cool.
Dave, what are you trying to tell us, Dave?
Should I read Dave's post for today?
Yes. Please read this to all the good people out there.
Thank you all for sharing your memories of Star Wars Rebels. We're doing it right now, Dave. Doing it right now, buddy. Don't you worry. It was a wonderful show to make, and the entire crew is humbled by the outpouring of love and support with Rebels Remembered. # Rebels Remembered. I tried to think of something to sketch for all of you today, but I couldn't come up with something from the past, so I drew something from a possible future.
Ah, possible.
It's always good to check in on old friends, don't you think? No, this is not a new show. I just did a drawing. This is just a drawing I did for you. The greatest fans there are. Thank you.
Oh, Dave, you're pulling the Uncle George strings there, buddy. Pulling them real hard, and I love it.
Yeah, this guy, man. I mean, just thinking back today from when he did the Ahsoka Lives and Ahsoka Lives t-shirt at Celebration.
Yep. And look at what happened.
I mean, who knows what we're going to see this year, man.
I know. I think he's got a full slate of things wrapped up for those 5 days in Chicago. I would not be surprised if he doesn't have something, not necessarily planned, but be like, hey, again, Rebels anniversary, looking at when this show came out. Here's a little something for you guys.
Put everybody possible in episode 9.
Are you talking about the ultimate fan cast? Is that what you're talking about right there?
Just everybody ever.
Wow. Everybody ever in
just everybody. Just throw them in.
Wow.
I'm about it. Even if it's just a quick little cameo. Even if it's just something like a bunch of, like all wings reporting in type of thing, and you just see all these people we love, and I'm about
Preach to the choir, man. I love that. I love that idea. Yeah.
Make it happen.
Make it happen, Dave. Stop teasing us. Stop it.
Stop it. But yeah, man, I'm just looking forward to the future, and hopefully seeing these characters kind of. Can we get an end to a story for Ahsoka?
I know.
Not that I want it to end, but like we're constantly like, "Where's Ahsoka?" Like constantly, and it's kind of amazing. It's great, but
no, it's true. Somebody's out there. All right, somebody who knows how to write books.
Clone Wars ends, and we're all like, "Where's Ahsoka?" And then they give us Rebels. And then halfway through Rebels, we're like, where's Ahsoka?
Yeah, seriously.
Is Ahsoka even alive? And then at the end, oh, there's Ahsoka back again. And then we're like, oh, but now where's Ahsoka? And yeah.
Somebody's out there who knows how to do Where's Waldo books. Please.
Oh my God, that'd be glorious.
Somebody's got to do that for Star Wars Celebration, then send a copy over to Lancaster for Celebration Lancaster. It's got to happen. They got to be able to do it, man.
You should do it. It'd be awesome.
Do it, whoever it is.
So, any final thoughts before we talk some upcoming stuff here, Mr. Robin Vogt?
No, you know what? It's interesting. I think the last kind of almost shout out to the Star Wars Rebels fandom out there who may be listening to this episode. You better be listening to this episode because it's a pretty darn good one. But overall, Star Wars Rebels has given us, I will say, 75 episodes. And a lot of people after that first season, Caden, I remember hearing a lot of people say the words, I'm not sure if this thing can make it. I'm not sure if this thing can make it. People were not invested. 75 episodes later, all right, through a full 4 seasons, you know what I mean? It is absolutely tremendous, the stuff that this series had overcome. And because of Dave Filoni and the entire crew. And I think on behalf of, I speak for Rebel Cause Lancaster when I say this, but I'll have Caden say it as well. But for Brick City Blockade Podcast Network, Star Wars Rebels has offered an outlet that, unlike any other, I will say. And again, super, super big credits to the entire Lucasfilm team and all the voice actors. The voice actors never get the credit that is due for the work that they did. And I think Dave understands that. I think some of the crew over there does understand that. And I say it every time. I send those shout outs, Caden, saying, thank you guys, the ones that took their time behind the microphones to voice these characters and to create these long lasting memories. Thank you for all you've done and continue to do for the Star Wars fandom.
Yeah, absolutely, man. They voice these crazy inspirational characters, and for some kids, Kanan might be Luke Skywalker, or Ezra might be that Luke Skywalker character to us, and by Luke Skywalker character, of course, I mean like the character you first fell in love with as your personal hero, you know what I mean? And those characters are definitely that for some younger generation, and maybe some older generations too. I mean,
sure, of course.
But so yeah. Thanks, guys, for inspiring us, me too.
Yeah, that's why I wanted you to say that.
Exactly, man. Of course. Thank you. Like, it's amazing what they really pulled together with this show that, every Star Wars property is going to get. Everybody hates it at first, I guess.
Of course.
But, I really loved it from the beginning, and so glad to go on that adventure, and I'm glad they wrapped it up the way they did, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for it.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Thank you, guys.
#Rebels remembered. So, Mr. Robin.
So, we got some stuff to talk about.
Speaking of some Rebels. Star Wars Celebration Lancaster is going to be April 13th here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania at the awesome Telus 360 from 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock.
My goodness gracious. What an event we have planned for you guys between the good people over at Rebel Cause Lancaster and, of course, your friends at the BrickCityBlockade.com podcast network. The crews are going to be linking up, and they're going to be ready to give you guys the ultimate Star Wars experience right in your backyard, no matter whether you're coming from Virginia, whether you're coming from New Hampshire like we are. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. If you can't make it to Chicago, why not come to Lancaster? It is a happening place with some pretty happening people that, like Caden said, April 13th, 12 to 5. It's a free event. You get in, you get your Star Wars loaded in there. We're going to have live podcasts. We're going to have a Saber Training Academy. Young Jedi Knights can come in with Andrew Merton Garish himself, the host of Words of the Wills from the BrickCityBlockade.com podcast network and contributor to all kinds of wonderful things. He's going to be teaching you how to whip around a lightsaber and how to become the Jedi Knight, or you never know, Sith Master you have always meant to be. We have great giveaways, Caden, too.
Celebration Lancaster is the alternative to start. Let me start over there. Celebration Lancaster really is going to be the alternative to Star Wars Celebration. We, like you said, Lightsaber Academy. We have tons of giveaways and tons of raffles too.
Oh, yes.
That are all going to be going to raise money for the homeless right here in Lancaster, which is always what we do. It's our purpose. It is our cause. And it's going to be amazing. We have a gaming section set up for all of you great people that are going to be showing up. And I'm stoked to be able to share this experience with not only all the fans, but of course you guys, and then a bunch of awesome people we have coming. We're going to still announce some of that here coming up in the coming weeks.
Of course.
But we're hitting the bricks, guys, and just really putting some amazing stuff together for you guys. Number one, the venue's amazing.
It's wonderful.
It's a super, super cool venue, and we're going to be able to watch all the live panels from Star Wars Celebration.
Yes.
Right there in the room. So while you're mingling around, hitting up the vendors that are going to be there, we have some awesome vendors lined up so you guys can get your Star Wars swag right there. Art, toys, comics. It's going to be amazing. After you pick up all that stuff, you can pop up, watch all these awesome panels with us, guys. Fingers crossed that we're getting that trailer on Saturday.
That's the hope, man. That's the hope.
I mean, I'd want it as soon as we can, of course. But I hope it's Saturday so we can watch it in a room full of fans. It's gonna be incredible. And I can't thank everybody enough who has donated raffle prizes, who's donated giveaways, who have donated their time, their effort, and of course location.
Yes.
For us to be able to host this. And this is what it's all been building up to, guys. This is going to be something truly special and a day long remembered.
Oh, a day long remembered, both within the rebellion and, of course, within the Empire itself. And the beauty of it is, too, is like, hey, you don't have to come alone. Invite your friends, invite those Wookiees, and yes, droids are allowed to be present. So please invite everybody that you know to this event. Bring everybody. It's just going to be a wonderful time for all the Star Wars fans in your lives. And hey, guess what? Maybe somebody, and this is what I always love to say, hey, maybe somebody wants to get into Star Wars. Maybe they don't know where to start. Oh boy, this is the place to start. If you want to show somebody, hey, this is what the Star Wars fan community, this is what Rebel Cause, this is what the mission is all about. That's the place to be. April 13th, Saturday, April 13th, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Telus 360, downtown Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's an alternative to Star Wars Celebration, but hey, it's one heck of an alternative to Star Wars Celebration Chicago.
Oh, absolutely. And one last thing I want to throw in about it. I've had a couple people ask me, because Telus 360 is, people think of it as a bar, but it's a restaurant first. You know what I mean? Yes. During the day, it's a restaurant as well. Kids are super welcome. I just want to make sure that that's put across. There's been a couple people that know Telus is like, I mean, it's a really fun place. You've been there with me on a Saturday night before. It's a busy place. But yeah, bring the kids, man.
It's for all ages, guys.
All ages. Bring your kid, bring your grandma. It's gonna be great.
Bring your kid, bring your grandma. Give her a lightsaber if she needs a cane. That's the way to do it.
Go right through the floor. It'd be terrible. She'll fall right down.
Yeah. Never mind.
Robin supports grandmother.
I do not support that. I do not support that. But hey, you know what? That's your choice, not mine.
Rebels, blockaders. It has been amazing, and I guess we'll throw it over to Mr. Robin Vote first for that. What do we call it?
I think we call that plug time, right?
No, that's wrong. That's not what we call it. Yes, of course it's plug time.
All right. You guys can follow me over on Twitter at Mr. Vote Tweets. Check out all my tomfoolery, and who knows, maybe I'll trip over something and I'll put it on Instagram too over there at the official vote. Hey, www.brickcityblockade.com for everything happening in that galaxy far, far away. Also, make sure to check out our new banner that we have up there from our good friend over at Dagobah Customs, doing awesome work with Black Series, SH Figure Arts, and his toy photography is absolutely wonderful. Pre-order and order any of those awesome sets that he has custom made for your Black Series today. Also, please, hey, Starlight Children's Foundation, Galaxy of Joy, raising over $4,000. That's our goal this year, so head on over there, do that. Patreon to support the network, TeePublic to rock the network, $14 tees coming up right around the corner. And hey, guess what? Check out all of our podcasts, guys, like this one. You never know what type of road it's going to go down. And hey, I don't know. You make your own choices about whether your grandma uses a lightsaber as a cane. I'm making that determination. I just threw that out there for recommendation. So, hey, Caden, how about you?
So, for all those who don't support grandmother abuse, you can head over to
watch it.
I'm just kidding. Robin loves his grandma. Anyway, so you can find Rebel Cause at Rebel Cause Lancaster on Facebook and Instagram under that same name. Of course, you can find our podcast, Rebel Chatter, at rebelchatter.com, iTunes, and all those other great podcasting apps all across the galaxy. And, of course, you can find us on the Brick City Blockade Podcast Network, where I do this show and a bunch of other shows with the great guys over at the Brick City Blockade Podcast Network. And, of course, you'll find us in April at Telus 360, April 13th, Celebration Lancaster. We'll be posting up, doing all that great Star Wars celebration related things.
That's right. Check it out.
So until then,
may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. Always.
Always. Ouch.